He built the everything store. Now regulators call it an illegal empire he never saw coming. This is the playbook they don't want you to see, and it's more dangerous than you think. Buckle up, and we'll roll with the story.
Everyone knows the story of Jeff Bezos starting Amazon in a garage, right? But what if I told you the real secret to his empire wasn't just a brilliant idea, but a radical, sometimes ruthless, obsession with a single principle? This is the story of the Amazon playbook they don't want you to know. A strategy so powerful it completely changed the world, but with consequences we're all still dealing with today. To get the playbook, you first have to get the man who wrote it. Long before he was a household name, Jeff Bezos was a gifted and intensely curious kid, building gadgets and dreaming of going to space. He graduated from Princeton with degrees in electrical engineering and computer science and landed a cushy job on Wall Street. By age 30, he was a senior vice president at the investment firm D.E. Shaw, making a great salary with a clear path to becoming incredibly wealthy. But in 1994, Bezos read one single, startling statistic. Web usage was growing at 2,300% a year. He saw a revolution coming, and he was convinced its future was in retail. The idea of an online everything store grabbed him and wouldn't let go. He decided to start with books. They were easy to ship, and there were millions of titles. So, he did the unthinkable. He walked away from his stable, high-paying career. He and his then-wife, Mackenzie, packed up their lives, and on a cross-country drive from New York to Seattle, he wrote the business plan for his new company. After raising initial funds, including a significant investment of around $300,000 from his parents, he set up shop. Now, the garage part of the story is mostly a myth. The company, which he first called Cadabra, was actually run out of a rented house in a Seattle suburb with the first desks famously made from cheap doors. He later renamed it Amazon after the world's largest river to match his ambition. He even warned his first investors that there was a 70% chance the whole thing would fail. But Bezos wasn't just building a bookstore. He was building a system, an empire based on a rulebook nobody had ever seen before. The entire Amazon playbook can be boiled down to one core idea, a concept so central that it guides every single decision: customer obsession. In one of his famous quotes, Bezos said, "We're not competitor obsessed, we're customer obsessed. We start with what the customer needs and we work backwards." This flew in the face of how most companies operated. They were all competitor-focused, watching what their rivals did and just trying to do it a little bit better. Bezos threw that idea out completely. He argued that focusing on competitors meant you were always reactive, always looking over your shoulder. But being customer-focused, he believed, allowed you to be a pioneer. His whole philosophy was built on one question: what's not going to change in the next 10 years? He figured customers would always want three things: lower prices, faster delivery, and a wider selection. So, he decided to build a company that was ruthlessly dedicated to delivering on those three promises. This long-term thinking became the playbook's foundation. It can be summed up with three big ideas: put the customer first, invent, and be patient. This wasn't just a catchy slogan, it was an operating manual. Leaders at Amazon are literally trained to start with the customer and work backwards, forcing them to understand a customer's problem so deeply that the solution they create feels obvious. With customer obsession as its North Star, Amazon made a series of brilliant and often risky moves that built a machine that seemed unstoppable. The first was a concept Bezos famously sketched on a napkin: the flywheel. It's a loop that fuels itself. It starts with low prices, which attract more customers. More customers mean more traffic, which attracts third-party sellers. More sellers give you a bigger selection, which makes the customer experience even better. All this growth lets Amazon get more out of its fixed costs, like its warehouses, which lets it lower prices even more. And the flywheel just keeps spinning faster and faster, building its own momentum. One of the most controversial plays that got the flywheel spinning was opening Amazon up to third-party sellers in 2000. Internally, people fought it hard. Why would you invite your competitors to sell their stuff right next to your own? But Bezos saw the bigger picture. To truly become the everything store, Amazon couldn't possibly stock everything itself. By creating the marketplace, he massively grew the selection without taking on the risk. It was a spectacular bet that paid off. Today, third-party sellers account for over 60% of all units sold on Amazon. The next masterstroke? Amazon Prime, launched in 2005, it sounded nuts. Pay a flat annual fee and you get free 2-day shipping. On paper, it's loose. But Bezos understood human psychology. Prime didn't just solve the shipping cost problem, it removed the mental friction of shopping. It created a powerful loyalty loop that literally rewired millions of our brains to turn to Amazon first. It turned shopping into a habit. But maybe the most transformative play, and the one most people don't fully grasp, was creating Amazon Web Services, or AWS. In the early 2000s, Amazon's own internal tech was a mess. To fix its own scaling problems, its engineers built a set of reliable, modular infrastructure services. If you're getting value from this deep dive and want to understand the strategies behind the world's most dominant companies, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. We break down business playbooks like this every week. Then they had a wild idea. If Amazon needed this kind of on-demand computing power, so did every other company. So, in 2006, they started selling access to their own servers and databases. This move turned Amazon from a retailer into a tech giant. AWS became a massive profit engine, generating huge amounts of cash that helped fuel Amazon's other ambitious, low-margin ventures. The story of the Amazon playbook is really the story of a double-edged sword. On one side, it's a stunning testament to the power of visionary, long-term thinking and an absolute focus on the customer. Jeff Bezos didn't just build a company. He built a system that fundamentally rewired global commerce, and there are powerful lessons in that for any entrepreneur. But on the other side, that same relentless drive has created an empire with immense, and some say unchecked, power. The garage myth is a nice story, but the true legacy of the Amazon playbook is far more complicated, and its final chapter is still being written.